Okay, so I have done it, or at least I'm in the process. At least I'm in the process of doing it. Up at this point, I have blocked or unfollowed 58 accounts, um, mainly Facebook, mainly on Facebook. And you might be asking, well, why am I doing that? Why am I wasting my time blocking people or unfollowing people? I'll tell you exactly why. Because there is so much toxic negativity out there today that if you're seeing these toxic people posting, it will not help you. It'll probably hurt you with mental health issues. It's as simple as that. There is so much toxicity from this election that you've got to separate yourself from toxicity. Like I said, or else you're going to be feeling bad in one way or another because these people are out to get you. Again, not political, doesn't matter who you voted for, doesn't matter who I voted for. There are people that are on the other side that will crucify you and tell you how stupid you are and tell you how you're this and that, fill in the blank. It's really, really getting bad. And I'll tell you something, I wasn't doing all that well up until a couple days ago. And I realized, you know something? Hey, who's that? Oh, 519 Media. How are you doing? That's right. It's a live stream. So come on and say hello when you're here. Come on and say hello when you get here. Up until a couple days ago, I was not doing that well. I was seeing so much negativity, friends, even from some friends, people that you think are friends, but as it turns out, they might not be your real friends. So it took a lot of courage, but right now I'm proud. I'm up to 58 because what happens now is that when I turn on my social media, whatever it might be, Facebook, social media, whatever, Instagram, whatever it is, here's my goal. I'm only seeing positivity or at least neutral. It doesn't matter what I see. I don't want to see hate. I don't want to see negativity. I don't want to see name calling. I don't want to see people telling me that I'm a person they think I am because I voted for not for their candidate. I don't want to see any of that. And I'll tell you something else. You can't reason with any of these people that are toxic. You can't reason with them. And so I did a little test. It was a little self-test. I Yeah, from the election the other day, I was feeling pretty bad because I was getting a lot of negative pushback and feedback from people that you wouldn't believe, and people that don't even know, like they don't nobody knows who I voted for. Nobody saw my mail-in ballot when I filled it out. Maybe my wife is the only person that knows. But I was feeling bad because of all of the hate and all of the excuses and all of the naysayers and telling us that how the country's going to just go downhill and it's the end. Yeah, and I'll talk about that in a second. 519. I'll talk about it in a second because if you've been with me for a while, I think you have. I've been talking about way before any election. I've been talking about this, so I'm gonna share that with you in a second. But the moment I decided to start blocking out, and it can be done either like unfollowing so you don't see something or just pure outright blocking for the worst. The moment I started doing that, guess what? I started feeling like this wave of positivity coming at me. Seriously. Sometimes you have to do something that might not be that comfortable, but it works out for you. So you might be saying, "Well, I can't block my friends. I can't unfollow they're my friends." Well, I will tell you something. If they're causing any negativity in your life, from seeing them, thinking about them, seeing their posts, if they're causing any negativity, they're not your friends. They're hurting you. I promise you that. Like I said on my last live stream, I had to literally block a friend that I've had for 6 years. She got ugly. She got hateful. It was very difficult to do, but I did it. And guess what? 2 days later, if you ask me how I'm feeling, I am feeling awesome. I was going to say fucking awesome, but I don't want to say any bad words on this. So I'm not going to say fucking awesome. I'll just say I'm feeling awesome. And I'm serious about that. I am feeling awesome. You know why? Because I got rid of toxicity. I got rid of negativity. Um, yeah. So yeah. Getting back to what 519 was saying here. By the way, if you're watching this as a replay at some point, then I'm talking to some people that are here live with me, and anybody else that's here live, just say hello in the chat box. I'd love to give you a little shout out. If you don't want me to give you a shout out, just say hi. Say, but don't give me a shout out, Dave. Either way, it's fine. It's fine with me. I discovered this technique, I would say at least 5 to 6 years ago. I discovered this technique. If there's anybody that for some reason they're just not vibrating with you, they're rubbing you the wrong way, you see their name somewhere, you see them, you see their face, you see a post, and you just don't feel good. Why are you with that person? Why are you associating with that person? Get rid of them. I've said this a million times, don't wish them any harm. No grudges, nothing bad. Just distance yourself with them. There was somebody, I guess, let me go back probably 6, 7 years ago. 6, 7, maybe 8 years, somewhere, some in that range, let's say 7 years ago. There was a woman who was in the vegan community. I used to be vegan. I'm not anymore because I felt it was bad for my health. Some people can do it well. Some people can't. And it was everybody's body is different. And it was slowly killing me. But before I learned that part, there was a woman she would run these like potluck dinners, these vegan potluck dinners, and it sounded great. And they were, at some point they were kind of fun, I guess. I mean, well, it's a long story, but she seemed nice. She seemed nice, but she had an agenda. And I found out she had an agenda. The niceness was bullshit. So I just felt, but she was like a very important woman in the vegan community back where I used to live in Maryland. She was like, into this thing and, well respected. But I felt that something was really bad. I felt some bad energy. Something was weird. Something was wrong. But she was a friend of mine. I'll say, quote unquote, friend. One day I just said to myself, I said, I've got to block her. I'm done. Every time I see her name, every time I see something that she's doing, I have this very, very, very bad feeling. Now, I didn't wish her any harm, nothing bad. I just one day just blocked her out of my life. And guess what? I felt incredibly positive after that. Sometimes you have to get rid of, I hate to say it like this, it's going to sound awful. You have to get rid of some of this dead wood that's just lying around you, that's not doing any good. Like the bowling alley. A pin gets knocked, you sweep it out of the way and get rid of it. Now that sounds horrible to say, call another human being dead wood. So that's a bad analogy, but you know what I mean. Again, we're not wishing any harm on anybody. We're not holding grudges. Oh, thank you. I appreciate thumbs up, hearts, whatever you can do. Give it to me, baby, because it helps the show. So give me some hearts. I love it when somebody, let me see I don't know if it works if I do it, but like click a heart, you can see the heart just come into the screen. I love it. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. Keep them coming. Just when they keep coming, it gives me more energy for you. I love it. But oh wow, they're like nonstop. Oh, they stopped. That's okay. You don't have to keep it going. That's okay. I got a lot of love from you, so that means a lot. So after I did that with her, I said, wow, if it worked with one person that was just causing negative energy, every time I see somebody on social media, you just say that person just doesn't really vibrate with me. They just something about that person that's giving me negativity. Guess what? I've done 58 so far in the past week since the election. I've done 58. A combination of blocks or unfollows. That means I don't see them. If they're really bad, I block them because I just never want to communicate with them again. If they're like friends, but they're putting some bad stuff up, I'll generally unfollow just so I don't see their stuff in my feed, but I'll still be friends. But if they get bad, I block. And I'm not afraid to do that. I've said before, like if you're in a bad job, if your job is just not, you might be making some money, but it's just not resonating with you and you just don't like it. Something is bad about it. You've got to make it. You've got to do something. If you're in a bad relationship, you can't just ride it out. You can't ride out a bad relationship, and you can't out microdose a bad relationship. You can't out microdose a bad job or a bad, a toxic family member. You've got to make some type of a change, and that's why I believe in. This channel is about microdosing. I believe in microdosing. You don't have to do that. I would say the most important thing is to recognize the triggers, the negative factors, the negative things in your life, and mitigate those or do something about those. But the good thing about mushrooms is a lot of times they teach you. They teach you what's bad. Hey, we got a bunch of people that have come in. Say hello in the chat box. Don't be shy. Come on. Say hello. Well, I think people are afraid that I'm going to call their name out. I don't want to be seen here. I don't want to be seen. Fantastic 519. I'm so glad. It's a life changer. It's a life changer. And like I said, it teaches you what else has to be done, or I should say what has to be done. Anna, hi. Started microdosing a month ago after using your channel for research. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate that a lot. Thank you. That means when I hear positive comments, they mean the world to me because I pretty much dedicate my life these days to helping others feel better. That's what I care about. It worked for me. I've done a lot of, besides the microdosing, I've made a lot of changes, of course, but it works so well for me and got me out of this crazy funk that I just want to help other people do the same. I just want to see you feel better every day. But like I said, the purpose of today's video is you have to have the guts. You have to have the guts to take those steps, to start admitting that I had to admit that 58 people so far, I'm sure there'll be more, but I had to admit that 58 people that somehow followed me or friends on Facebook or something were extremely negative and not good for my psyche, not good for my life. I had to admit it. And then the next step is, okay, what am I going to do? I'm going to unfollow them. If they're really bad, like that woman 2 days ago, extreme toxicity and hatred. She was a 6-year friend. I had to say goodbye. Block. Done. Do I look sad? No. Somebody like that is not a friend. And again, a job, a business, a spouse, partner, girlfriend, boyfriend. If you have negativity in your life that's not working for you, you have to do something. You have to make a change. Is it difficult? I never said it was easy. Oh my God. I went through a divorce in 2001. Not fun, not good. I don't recommend it unless it's the only option. And for me, it was the only option. Because if I hadn't done that, who knows? I'd probably be dead now. I would have been living a life that was horrible for me, not my true life. I would have been faking it and doing things that I, had to fake to fit in. And I'm sure it would have killed me. I'm quite sure. Quite sure. Now, every day, granted, we all go through things because if you've been with me long enough, like even a month or so ago, I went through some real tough things with my house and I took care of the problem. but it was very difficult for a while. Very, and sometimes I would wake up days and I'd be not feeling great, anxious, and not knowing what was next. But again, if you identify the problem and do something about it, it's going to work out. It's going to get better. But you have to have the guts to do something sometimes. And again, a divorce is not an easy thing to do. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying if you have a fight with your spouse, you get divorced. I'm not saying divorce is not good. It's not fun. It's a last resort. But sometimes it's a really, thanks for the hearts there. Thank you so much for those hearts. Wow, they're coming in. Like I just look at the hearts all day. I love, because it means at least I think I'm resonating. What's on the other side? Like when I got divorced, I had no idea what was going to be on the other side. It was scary as hell. If you change jobs, could be scary as hell. If you move to another another city or location because where you live now is just not doing you any good. Scary. Yeah, of course. But what's the alternative? Staying in a horrible situation? Oh yeah, that'll kill you fast. Or maybe slowly, but it'll kill you. It's tough out there, but we can do this together. Anna, what was the issue with your marriage? Because I'm going through some marriage issues that I can't out microdose. You can't out, yeah. You okay? Well, thanks for at least understanding that and realizing you can't. Like, I could not out microdose my first marriage. I couldn't out microdose it. Did I had to, if I had mushrooms with me at my disposal back then, they would have taught me a lot. I mean, it took me decades to figure it out from there because I didn't have the tools at my disposal. But what were the problems? I don't want to. I don't want to say anything about my ex-wife because actually we're on good terms, and that's the best way to be. If it's possible, that's the best way. So guess what? Guess what? I'm going to take the blame. Back in the old days, I blamed her. I blamed her for this, and I blamed her for that. But I think the mushrooms have taught me a lot. I'm going to take the blame. Not that I did anything that I thought was bad, but that I'm going to take the blame because I stayed in a situation way too long when I should. The signs were there, and I should have done something earlier. So I'm going to take the blame. But what was the issues? What was the mainly? I'd say mainly living a life that I didn't think was my life. I was I was trying to pretend to be somebody else to fit in situation we were in social situations and family situations, and it was it was very, very difficult. Let's say that. So I realized it at some point, and I realized that I had to make a change. Deeper than that, but that's mainly if I had to, give the an overall 30,000-foot view. I would say it just I was I was not being me. I was living a life as somebody else. If that makes sense at all. More specifically, what do you mean by faking it? Um, Having other friends that we would hang out with that I knew were not really my true friends, or I wasn't really in alignment with, but we were friendly with people just because it looked good, and maybe because my wife wanted to be friends with them, but I didn't feel like a real serious attachment, and a lot of things I was doing, a lot of things weren't really me, but I was in this situation with family, my kids, and I of course love my kids, of course, but just I was even in a profession. I was a dentist. I was working as a dentist, and I need to do an episode on that pretty soon at some point because that caused a tremendous amount of trauma in my life because I felt that it wasn't me. Hard to explain, and actually very difficult too. That's helpful. Can you relate, Anna? Are you going through anything like that? Because there comes a point, like I said, you can't out microdose it. You can't out microdose a bad marriage or a bad job or a bad relationship. You can't out, no matter, you could take all this, you could be like I say, you can be the best microdoser in the world. I love that phrase. You could be the best microdoser in the world, but until you make changes, you're just masking the problem. You know what's really weird about that though? You know what was strange is that once I got divorced, and again, this is over 20 years ago. I'm talking 2001, around that era. When I got divorced, I found out who my true friends were because a lot of the fakes that we were hanging around, the fakes, they scurried away. A true friend would stick with somebody. These people like just scurried away, like never to be seen again. I was hanging around fake people. And it's real, not 100%, but close to it maybe. It's really tough to live a life with fakes or people that you don't resonate with or vibrate with. And like I said, you can try to sweep things under the rug. Like I try to ignore things for probably at least 10 years. I tried to ignore things. Oh, it'll get better. I got to do the right thing. Got a family. Let me do the right thing. But you can try to sweep it all under the rug, but it will come back to you in the way of health issues, both physical and mental, and worse and more. And like I've said before in some of my episodes, you can try to hide things and sweep them under the rug and ignore them, but they're like almost like a bank account with interest. They're accumulating under your skin, in your body. They're accumulating somewhere only to come out at a later time and really wreak havoc on you. So you can try to ignore them. You can try to fake that they're not there. That'll work for a short time. But they're like again, they're it's like a savings account. They're being banked. And they will ultimately gain so much steam and momentum, they're going to come back and kill you. It's a brutal way to say it, but it's true. Really tough. So again, that's why I'm proud. No, yeah, that way. I'm proud that I went on like a block party. I honestly, I honestly feel so much better today than I did 2 days ago. I swear to you, I honestly feel so much better. I didn't use any microdose today for anything. Things are going really well again because I took I took action. If I didn't do anything and just let these people be toxic and walk all over me, and you can't do that. You can't do that. Okay. Any other quick questions I will answer because then I'm gonna run um, here in Salt Lake. It's just about 5 p.m. and I'm gonna get some dinner pretty soon. But let me make sure you're still here. You know how to make sure you're here? Give me some hearts right now. I'm going to see some hearts come onto the screen so I know you're still here and listening. Let me see a few hearts, then I'll let you go. Come on. There we go. Okay. I know you're still here. Don't multitask. Don't There we go. Look at all. Don't multitask when I'm talking to you. You got to listen to everything I say. Don't try to be cooking dinner at the same time I'm talking to you. Because I'm being very direct. Okay, guys. You know what I say at the end of every episode, and usually I try to do it on live, but at the end, you know what I say? I say I love you because I feel your energy, and that really comes from my heart. It really does. Okay, everybody that's here and everybody that's going to be watching in the future on a replay, I will talk to you soon. I'm Dr. Dave. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you got some value out of this, because I really appreciate you. Talk to you really soon. And remember, brand new regular episode comes out every Wednesday and every Friday, and they're on YouTube as well as Apple and Spotify and all the audio podcast platforms. Lately, I've been doing live streams here on YouTube. Been doing them pretty much every day because this has been brutal, and I am trying to help my mental health and everybody else's by we have to do this. Next time, I might have a different number in front of me. Okay. Talk to y'all soon. Love you. See you later.